A heavy mix of steam and smoke swirled out in front of the girl's face as the soft hue of orange illuminated her features with each puff of her cigarette. It was dark outside, even for being the middle of the night, probably because it had rained for the past few days. It was quiet. Not a sound other than that of the pattering of rain and the soft burning of tobacco. Eerie, but none more so than the house in which we had just moved into. It was beautiful, old Victorian, almost castle-like. Hanging chandeliers, dark oak doors, even a spiral staircase leading up to the tower where she did the majority of her writing. She loved every aspect of that house, but nothing more than the doll. It was a spooky thing, porcelain with ungodly white, curly hair. Its glass skin was faded and pale, and its once blushed cheeks now looked dark and deathly. The dress it wore was an organized mess of black lace, silk, and ribbons, all tied together carefully and with brilliant craftsmanship. She found it neatly placed in a wooden box, which had been locked away in a hidden closet just under the stairs. An old iron lock had been fastened around the clasp, but it didn't do any good as the key was still jammed inside. Any normal person who found a doll in a hidden room, locked in a box, would get rid of the damn thing, but not her. She loved that doll more than anything else in that house, and every day she would take it down and admire it by the glow of the fireplace in the privacy of her study. She had an obsession with the thing, but she kept up with her social and daily life, and her writing. She put out her smoke and walked towards the back door from the garden, using the light from her phone to see what obstacles lie in her path. "It's late," I say as she approaches the house. "What are you doing up?" She kicked off her shoes at the door and made her way to the kitchen table. A familiar smile crept across her face as she glanced at me. I hand her a hot cup of tea just as she sits down. "Thank you." She took a sip. "I was just taking a little midnight stroll through the garden." Her eyes glistened in the dim-lit room. They were always my favorite part of her. The dead garden in the middle of October. I couldn't help but chuckle. "Oh, Kate, this is why I married you." I kissed her forehead. "Let's go to bed." She shook her head at me. "I have too much work to do. I have a deadline for my book, and I'm almost done, I swear." At this, she stood up and walked toward the little doorway leading to the main room. "You should come up with me. It would be nice to have some living company up there." "Living being not made of glass," I laughed. "Okay, I'll be up there shortly." She nodded at me and whirled around, disappearing in the darkness. I sighed. If I was going to be up all night, I was going to need a cup of coffee. This was the third night in a row that I had found her outside in the middle of the night, always strolling the garden. Slowly, I was becoming more and more concerned with her unusual behavior. Wandering about the grounds in the middle of the night was just the start. I didn't know when she ever slept, and as far as I knew, she was on a strict diet of tea, tobacco, and coffee cake. My stomach churned at the thought of her health. I was terrified that I would find her face down in her study one day. "Coffee," I say to myself as I fill my mug. My feet drag across the floor, up the stairs, and around the corner to the door leading to the tower. One seemingly never-ending spiral of stairs later, and I was on the landing just before the door to Kate's study. I stopped dead in my tracks. Suddenly, I felt strange. An eerie feeling flooded all over my being. Goosebumps crept up over my skin, and the hair on the back of my neck stood up straight. There was someone breathing down my neck. Slowly, I turned, and just then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something. But it was gone as soon as I was completely turned around. Nothing but the still of silence and the light in the stairs. "Andy!" I let out a yelp as Kate's voice broke the silence like a hammer to glass. I'm not sure how I kept a firm hold on my coffee. She fell back into her study. "What's wrong with you?" She pulls herself to a stand as I work hard to catch my breath. My answer is as staggered as my breathing. "Just tired. I'm freaking myself out." Her gentle hand softly caressed my trimmed face. Suddenly, I was at ease. "I'm not going to finish it tonight. I'm crazy tired." She offers me a tired smile. We can go to bed together and actually sleep for once. Her hand met mine for a split second as she headed down the stairs. I smiled at her, relieved that my sleep schedule wouldn't be interrupted any further, and I turned to close the door of her study, which slowly creaks to a close before I'm even turned around. I'll never admit what I heard and saw that very moment. Not to my wife, not to anyone. But if I'm being honest with myself, what was said to me at the top of that tower didn't come from Kate. Softly, in my ear, was a whisper. Death. Soon. And it's something I will never forget. Hello, and thank you so much for listening to my story. If you enjoyed what you just heard, please like and subscribe to my channel, where there will be loads more content to come. With that out of the way, I believe a proper introduction is in order. I am Lady Dreadful. Please feel free to add me on my social media listed on the screen, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. Send me your horror stories, real or written. I'd love to narrate them. And if you guys like what you heard today, after you've subscribed, make sure that you hit that little bell icon right next to the subscribe button down below. I hope to see you again soon. Until next time, my darlings, sweet dreams.